Hello, my name is Eli Azariv, and I am here to make a video about astral projection. Now, in the video, I'm gonna briefly go over some of the simple things that helped me in my journey astral project, and there are actually quite a few helpful videos on YouTube which I learned from. Some of my personal favorites are made by Ryan J.C. Cropper. He's actually one of the first people that I learned from in regards to astral projection and the subject. But where my journey first started was lucid dreaming. That's what pretty much got me interested in the whole subject. Now, when I first heard it, I'm sure you're probably going to feel the same. You're going to feel like, wow, this has got to be crazy. When you first hear these things without experiencing them, it's pretty easy for somebody to just go ahead and dismiss them as being fake or not real. But if you do take the time and you do study and you do your homework on the subject, you're going to be amazed about what you learn. Now, from what I've learned, I look at consciousness and astral projection in a very simple way. I look at it like this. You are not a human being with a soul. You are a soul that temporarily inhabits a body. Now, astral projection has been becoming very popular in the last 4 or 5 years, especially online, especially with all the people that are in the community making videos on how to astral project. Now, awakening and exploring consciousness is probably one of the best things that you could do as a human being. I personally think that results in astral projection only come down to how much you practice, and at the end of the day, you're never going to get it right off of the first try. It's never going to be a success the first time you lay down and try to astral project. I suggest starting on lucid dreaming. I do have a video on lucid dreaming. You can look at it. It's search up lucid dreaming crash course. I also have a video about that. Now, it's a process by which the human consciousness temporarily leaves the physical body and functions independently in other dimensions and other states of existence, while your physical body actually still remains passive and still throughout the whole experience. Now, the results in observing the world, observing any experience other than the physical body while in astral projection, you retain a very, very high level of consciousness and waking consciousness in this situation. During the experience, you actually remember everything more vividly than you would if you were awake, in my opinion. You'd remember it clearer than if you were lucid. Because that's, in a sense, what you are in these dimensions. Now, before we get off track, dimensions all vary. Now, if you are a person who has any mental illnesses or going through a depression, I do not recommend you try astral projection. You have to be, stable and understand that you are getting ready to experience something that some people who are not ready for might make you go crazy in a sense. I really don't have any other way of putting it. While returning to the physical body, you're going to remember every part of the experience, every smell, every color. Now, when you're there, you're going to wonder why, when you're waking and you're in reality, why colors aren't as bright and as vivid. Even at nighttime, if you astral project and it's nighttime in the dimension that you end up in, it's literally more beautiful and vivid. Even the darkness has like this glow to it. The colors burst out of the walls, and it's just a beautiful experience all in all. I really hope everybody who watches this video has a chance to try it. Now, one of my first steps in astral projection is very simple. I recommend you do this in the morning. You do it in the waking hours. Why? Because it's a lot easier for you to wake up early in the morning and get your body ready for that state to go into sleep paralysis and just right back into REM sleep. As opposed to where if you do it at night and you're already tired, you've had a long day, you're going to be laying there, and 8 out of 10 times you're probably just going to end up falling asleep. Your body's just going to shut down and you're going to end up wasting the time and the effort. What I personally do is very simple, okay? I lay down on my back. I adjust the pillow to a certain position so saliva doesn't gather and it doesn't bother me throughout the experience. So You lay on your back, arms and hands not touching, okay? And you clear your mind. Close your eyes, clear your mind. Think of a waterfall, just endless stream of water running. Clear your mind, clear every thought that comes in. And I know at times, especially for a person like me, I actually do suffer from anxiety, performance anxiety, and at times I can be anxious and my mind's just running at a million miles an hour, thinking about 20, 30 different things at once. But you want to be calm. You want to relax. You want to focus on one thing and one thing only. This way you could clear your mind and enter this state. It's almost as like it's like a state of meditation. That's how I best describe it. You're calm, tranquil, relaxed, and you're laying there. Now, when I first started, it's taken me maybe 30, 40 minutes to get into the vibration state. Now, what the vibration state is, and for some of you who haven't experienced it, it's probably going to scare the crap out of you the first couple times you try it. When you lay down on your back and you're laying there and you cleared your mind and you're laying there for several minutes, and what's going to happen next is your body is going to go into sleep paralysis because you are tricking your body into thinking you're asleep, but your mind is awake. Now, when you're tricking your body into thinking it's sleep, what happens is it begins to go into sleep paralysis. What sleep paralysis is your body becomes fully immobilized and is fully paralyzed. So if you are actually going to sleep, what this helps you do is not act out your dreams while you're sleeping. You're not going to start tossing and turning and running if you're running in a dream, or throwing your hands up if you're throwing your hands up in a dream. So this is, every human being has this defensive mechanism from stopping you from acting out your dreams. It's sleep paralysis. Now let me warn you, when you first go through sleep paralysis, it could scare the living lights out of you. Why? Because it is a sense of overwhelming noise and vibration. Your whole body feels like you are getting ready to blow up and explode. Everything is shaking. There's loud noise in your ear as if a train is running through your room. And it's pretty scary for people who haven't experienced it. But if you are familiar with the process, what you do is you remain calm. You don't let it scare you, because once you let it scare you, you're going to try to wake up. And when you wake up too suddenly while you're going through sleep paralysis, you're not going to wake up. You're going to go through that scary process where people say, oh, there's demons sitting on me and I can't wake up. This is all a bunch of BS. This is absolutely not true. That is not what sleep paralysis is, and there's no demon sitting on you. That's just your mind scaring the living daylights out of you. You feel like you could almost see, but your eyes are actually closed in reality, so you can't see. Okay? Now, if you're strong enough to overcome that next step, and you don't let it scare you, you don't let it bother you, what happens is you are actually now fully asleep, but your mind isn't. So you've tricked your body into falling asleep. Once you let the vibrations pass, which they will, you are now able to consciously shift your spirit, your conscious, out of your physical body, and you will enter astral realm. Now, astral realms all depend on a person's vibrations. Now, vibrations, okay, all depend on the person you are. Now, if you're a person, this is what I mentioned earlier, if you're a person who suffers from depression and you suffer from mental disabilities, this is not for you, for the simple fact that you're going to enter a lower realm because your vibrations are so low. I've actually entered what some people would call purgatory, and I've heard several people who speak on the subject of astral projection describe it as purgatory. It's a lower realm. It's the in-between realm when people pass and die that they go through. Now, it's completely like gray and black and white type of place of existence, and it's creepy. There's nothing there. It's like you come outside. I can't, from my experience, I came outside. I'm in my neighborhood and in front of my house, and everything looks as it normally would, except it's black and white. There's nobody outside, and there's just this eerie feeling inside of me. So at that moment, I decided to pop back into my body. Now, how you do that is very simple. You think of your body, and you'll end up popping right back into it. Now, how this works is, if you think of a friend or a friend's home that you visited before, it could be across the world, doesn't even matter. What happens is you consciously shift to that location. And for me, how I do it when I travel in the astrals is simple thought. Now, I'll grab a door handle in my house and I say, for example, when I open this door, I want to be at my friend David's home. Now, what will happen is, once I open that door, boom, I'm no longer in my home. I'm no longer, the next place that I'll be is at that location that I thought of. Now, this is how a lot of things in the astrals work. Communication in the astrals isn't done with the word of mouth. It's done through telepathy. As crazy as that sounds, everything is communicated simply by thinking it. If you encounter any beings or any entities in the astrals, that's how they all communicate. I have not met one that has physically just started speaking to me. You feel their energy, you feel their thoughts, and it's honestly the most beautiful feeling in the world. I can't describe it to you. You really have to experience it for yourself. Now, once you pass the states of vibrations and you pop out of your body, you want to take a moment to kind of walk around your home and just touch everything. Get a sense of where you are. Get a sense of how vivid everything is and beautiful the colors are. And I honestly had one issue when I began astral projecting. And I know a lot of other people had this issue as well. I'm actually in a Facebook group, and this Facebook group, a lot of people have complained about this subject. It is saliva, the saliva buildup in your mouth. When you're attempting to astral project and you're laying down, a lot of times some saliva will begin to build up in your mouth. Now, for some reason, when you swallow it, what ends up happening is the whole process restarts. You could have been laying there for 30, 40 minutes attempting to pop out of your body, but the moment that saliva builds up and you feel like you went gulp and let it down, the whole process seems to reset for some weird reason. Now, I can't explain that to you, but my best explanation for that is tilt your head to an angle where the saliva will automatically just go down on its own. Now, another issue is, if you think about it too much, if you put too much thought into the idea of, oh, I'm going to ruin this experience sooner or later because of the buildup of saliva and me having to swallow it, which will cause the whole process to reset. If you have that thought already in your mind and you're already thinking about this before the process even begins, you've already shot yourself in the foot before you even started. Because what's going to end up happening is you gave so much thought and so much of your being into that idea of you ruining the experience by having that saliva buildup, that's exactly what's gonna happen. You have to honestly just let go of all these thoughts, clear your mind, reset it, and say, I'm gonna do it, it's gonna work, and lay down and just do not move and clear your whole mind. Because once again, if you have those kind of thoughts running on in your mind, it's 9 out of 10 times it's gonna happen. So you want to keep a clear head, a clear mind before attempting this.